Hey, what's going on, guys and gals? Welcome to another Carolina Panthers talk brought to you by Blitzball Champ Gaming here on the U to the Tube. I'm your host, as usual, Jason Ingram. Well, tonight, gonna just go by the regular protocol, I guess, and preview this last game of the season for the Carolina Panthers as they go on the road to take on the New Orleans Saints. And I know it's not really a big deal. I know. But just playing my part, I guess. Just playing my part. We're also going to talk coaches. Going to talk about coaches. As word is that David Tepper reached out to Jim Harbaugh about a future coaching opportunity. Other names have been mentioned, such as D'Amico Ryan as well from the Niners. So we're gonna talk about that. First off, I want to give shout outs to Buffalo Bills safety Damar Hamlin. Prayers continuously going up for him. Know that he collapsed in the game against Cincinnati. They ended up suspending the game, which was the right call. Had a collapse, went into cardiac arrest. Word is he seems to be coming along, still fighting. And I just think it's a blessing seeing all the support from across the NFL and just in general for safety Damar Hamlin. And I tell you, that goes a long way. That goes such a long way. And I just hope that everything goes well and he's able to get stabilized and hopefully continue his pro football career. Things like this usually don't happen, but it's fortunate that they were able to get him to the emergency room. They were able to get his vitals normal. So that's a start. But just, continual prayers going up for Buffalo Bills safety Damar Hamlin. And I just hope that they can get him stable. A lot of folks, even from the Carolina Panthers, gave him shout outs. And just many across the entire league, players, coaches, analysts, all of the above. Just such a blessing to see the support for Damar Hamlin. I mean, that's a big deal, such a big deal. So I'm just hoping and praying that they can get him stabilized and hopefully continue his pro football career. Hopefully he'll be able to do that. And the thing is, he's only 24. He's only 24, young guy. So I really, really hope, he was in critical condition when he arrived at the hospital, but I really, really just hope and pray that he can get stabilized and he can continue his pro football career, because he's only 24. He's only 24, and just you hate to see things like that happen. So here's hoping and praying for Damar Hamlin. Speedy recovery, and I hope to see you back out there on the field. I mean, after all, got playoffs to hopefully look forward to. So hopefully, and even still, hopefully, main thing is they just get him back out there, recovered. No matter how long it takes, but that he'll be able to get back out there when the time is right. Kevin, welcome to the stream. Hello, Blitz. Hard game last week, but there are definitely some improvements that Wilkes has made with this team for sure. Yeah, there were some bright spots, but he hasn't sealed the deal. And I do think that we need to explore options. I don't think he gets the job easily, especially not after a performance like that. I think they need to explore options in this offseason. I'm not saying that he can't be a candidate, but they need to explore their options. He has not sealed the deal. Plain and simple as that. They need to explore options. Right now, Carolina sits at 6-10. Have a chance to become 7-10, but I mean, we'll see. Super Trebo, welcome to the stream. Hey Jason, how's it going? You hear about Jim Harbaugh? It's hard to believe he come to Carolina. I have to see it to believe it. Yeah, we're going to be talking about that tonight as we talk about coaches. Kevin says, how would you set up secondary in general? Maybe like an AJ Bouye and JC Horn? Well, here's the thing, Kevin. When Dante Jackson went down, we should have brought somebody in at that point, not wait until after we lose JC Horn. Not to mention, we brought in Josh Norman, and they barely played him. So it really makes no sense. They should have brought somebody in when Dante Jackson went down to go alongside JC Horn. And then when you have your two best guys out, we saw what happened in the Bucs game. Not to mention, I put a big percentage of that on coaching because adjustments should have been made. You do not let one player get over 200 yards receiving on a 63-yard, a 57-yard, and a 30-yard deep touchdown on the same side of the field. No excuses. I put a big part of that on coaching. There is no excuse for that. No excuse. Kevin says, exactly. We can be good with a strong secondary. Not saying we need a Earl Thomas, but someone decent. I mean, Josh Norman would have made sense if we would have made the move when Dante Jackson went down. And even in making the move, we barely played him. And the sad thing is, Steve Wilkes talking about, we're going to give him at least 20 to 25 snaps. Yeah. I highly doubt he got that many snaps, even close to those snaps. But yeah. Not making an excuse, but Tom Brady is great. Looking at the other receiver, which made the safety go that way. Tom Brady is elite at making players read with his eyes. Here's the thing. After that first deep touchdown, there's a couple of things. Number one, why were we not running the ball when we were up 14-0? That's number one. Number two, after that first deep ball touchdown to Mike Evans, that should have been addressed right afterwards, right then and there, whether it was over the top safety help or what. You got to make adjustments like that before it gets worse. And they did not do that. They didn't do that. Only 15 carries for Deontay Foreman. Chuba only got 3? That's unacceptable. That's unacceptable. All that talk about the philosophy of we're going to run the ball first, and you end up getting into a shootout with a 7-time champion. Come on now. That's just dumb coaching. You do not get into a shootout with Tom Brady. Come on now. That's on the coach. That's on coaching. I don't know what Al Holcomb was thinking, but that's on coaching. Kevin says the personnel was not good enough to deal with Tom Brady, to be honest. Our quarterbacks can be coached, but they're otherwise not very good. Well, we didn't have a problem beating them the first time and keeping them out of the end zone. Not to mention, even Mike Evans even had a shot in that first game. The only saving grace was that he dropped the ball. So there's really no excuse because we kept him out of the end zone in the first game. That's why you got a game plan. That's why you got a game plan. And they failed to do that, especially being up 14-0, about to go into halftime, and you don't stick to your game plan. No, I'm not going to crown Tom Brady that much for this game. Yeah, he did his thing. He did his part, but a lot of it was from our choking and our lack of adjusting. No, I'm not going to crown Tom Brady that high for this game, especially looking at how their record has been this season. No, I'm not going to do that. No way. I'm sorry, but having one player get over 200 yards on 3 deep balls is not normal. That is not normal. Anyways, looking at this game, I mean, 6-10 Panthers playing their last game on the road against the 7-9 Saints. Kevin says we could have just stopped the deep ball and we would have won. Safety at the top could have worked, but hard to find an answer without Horn. We still could have done it without J.C. Horn. All we had to do was over the top help. And like I said, after that first touchdown, you have to double up Mike Evans. I mean, there's a reason why he has over 1,000 yards receiving for 9 straight seasons since his rookie year. Like, you got to account for that in the scouting report. Not to mention, you had Josh Norman and you barely played him 5 snaps. What was all the hype and building him up if you barely play him? Especially when you have C.J. Henderson burned twice. Keith Taylor burned once. Like, you got to make adjustments. Like, there's no excuse for that. I don't care who we're guarding. You got to make adjustments. Like, it's one thing to make all these different adjustments and they don't work. But the fact of the matter is, all 3 of these touchdowns happen with the same player, the same play, on the same side of the field, all 3 times. There is no excuse for that. I don't care if it was dang on Steve Smith, Randy Moss. I don't care. You don't do that. You don't do that on defense. Justin Burris is a decent safety too. he's kind of fallen off after last season. He's kind of fallen off some, and then he got hurt. So I don't know about that. I don't know if I could agree with that. But I'm just really upset in the lack of adjustments or lack thereof. ESPN matchup predictor has 59.3% chance the Saints win, a 40.2% chance Carolina wins, and a 0.5% chance of a tie. Injury report. I mean, Matt Ioannidis was out due to back injury. If he can't go, expect to see Bravion Roy and Marquand McCall. Taylor Moton got rest. Ian Thomas was out for personal reasons. Linebacker Chandler Wooten was held out. Joe Iyegbunwe and Stephon Sullivan were limited. I mean, in all honesty, do you even start Sam Darnold? I mean, because while a win is nice, I mean, it's really a game that really holds no merit, to be honest with you. So I feel like might as well let some of the backups get a lot more time and get experience, in all honesty, to keep it real with y'all. I mean, you still play to win the game, but I mean, it's not really a game that holds a lot of merit. Kevin says, I agree. We could have done something. Yes, our cornerback room is not the best in the league, but it does not have to be. We do need to beef it up significantly next year. Yes, we do. Definitely agree. The Bucs secondary is good with Neal at safety. He was on the 2016 Falcons team, which went to the Super Bowl. And we have to also remember they were pretty up there in takeaways as well as a defense. They were pretty up there as takeaways, pretty much up there as with ranking with takeaways. Let me see. As for the Saints got a couple of people out. Cornerback Paulson Adebo, Yasir Durant at guard. Running back Dwayne Washington, they're listed as out. Taysom Hill and Juwan Johnson are listed as questionable. And also, of course, J.C. Horn has been put on injured reserve, so he's done, as expected. And, well, okay, that answered my question. P.J. Walker's still listed as out, so yeah, they're going to have to go with Sam Darnold to finish this season out. So yeah, I guess that's fair. Marcus May is questionable. Chase Hansen questionable. Justin Evans, Andres Pete, James Hurst, Ty Summers. For the Saints, all those folks are listed as questionable. So, that's what they have. Kevin says, "Do you see the Super Bowl? Do you see the Super Bowl in our future? I just want Chiefs to give us their whole roster under Wilkes and see what happens." Shoot, Super Bowl. The real question is, can we even get back to the playoffs? Shoot, Super Bowl. Can we even get back to the playoffs? Because we haven't since 2017, and this is another year in the books. And like I said, I'm not going to bank on Steve Wilkes. I'm not. I'm not saying he can't be a candidate, but he should not get the job by default. I'm sorry, but he should not get the job by default. And I know a lot of folks may say, well, he came in middle of the season. Still, he had plenty of time, and he also had an opportunity to seal the deal, helping us get to the playoffs, and it didn't happen. We got to stop crowning. We got to stop crowning mediocrity. We got to stop crowning mediocrity. Kevin says it's hard to get there even in our best season. The NFC Championship, which was great, but hard to play well the whole season. And I'm not disputing that, but it's not an excuse. Like, we can't, like, it's not something that, you know, folks have to keep throwing up. You know what I mean? Like, that's why we play the game. That's why we make adjustments. That's why we go out and get the folks that we need. You know, moves got to be made to improve each time. And when that's not being done, then it looks bad. It looks bad. I do like Steve Wilkes in the press conferences. Matt Rule was very annoying in those presses. And I agree. I definitely agree. You know, he has the edge in that aspect for sure. And I'm Steve Wilkes is not a bad guy. He's definitely not a bad guy. But at the end of the day, we need somebody who's going to start getting the job done. We need somebody that's going to start getting the job done. This Saints matchup, I guess I'll just go through it right quick. Carolina 27 and 29 all time against the Saints. The Panthers won the last meeting against them. And the last time Carolina beat the Saints in New Orleans was in 2018 in the season finale. Kevin says, but we will need. Oh, I'm sorry. We will see next season. The run game was a cool experiment, but teams figure that out. Need a passing game that is powerful. I think we need both. I think I think the run game is definitely there. And, you know, there was, you know, we got a little bit of something in the passing game. We just need to build on that and potentially change offensive coordinators. Some could say the secondary is the most important part of the football team because it takes the passing game away and makes a team one-dimensional. It's a fair argument. You know, many say that it starts in the trenches, which I can understand. So, I mean, it's a fair argument. It's definitely a fair argument. Looking at these rankings going into this, no one wanted to test the Seahawks in 2014 deep. Yeah. That is understandable. That is definitely understandable. Um, these rankings, I'm gonna just blast through these rankings right quick. On offense, total yards per game, Carolina ranked 27th. The Saints ranked 19th. Rushing yards per game, Carolina ranked 12th. Saints ranked 19th. Net passing yards per game, the Panthers 28th. Saints 16th. Sacks allowed, Carolina tied for 10th. New Orleans tied for 14th. Third down efficiency, Carolina ranked 31st. The Saints ranked 14th. Points per game, Carolina ranked 18th. New Orleans ranked 22nd. Kevin says one bright spot in the Bucks game was from the peanut punch fumble I saw, which Josh Norman probably taught the players. Oh yeah, the peanut punch from that Sam Franklin initiated. Yeah, that was nice. That was definitely nice. And who knows? Maybe Josh Norman did teach him. I mean, shoot, he did play with Charles Tillman back on the Super Bowl team. So hey, makes sense. I thought it was executed perfectly. So, shout outs to Sam Franklin. Defense. Total yards allowed per game. Carolina ranked 22nd. New Orleans ranked 10th. Rushing yards allowed per game. Carolina ranked 19th. New Orleans tied for 21st. Passing yards allowed per game. Carolina ranked 23rd. New Orleans ranked 3rd. Sacks. Carolina ranked 23rd. The Saints tied for 5th. Third down efficiency. Carolina ranked 25th. The Saints ranked 22nd. Takeaways. Carolina tied for 26. The Saints ranked dead last at 32. And points allowed per game, Carolina ranked 22nd. The Saints ranked 13th. Carolina ranked dead last in the passing yards. 28th. They're ranked 28th. So not dead last, but the 28th. Close, though. Very close. Very close. CJ Henderson said he did not give up on the play, but we all saw it, and it looks like he gave up on one of the deep passes. I mean, he got burned twice, so kind of hard to believe that he didn't give up on the play. I mean, he got burned twice. Like I said, even the same thing happened in the first meeting with the Bucks. The only saving grace was Mike Evans dropped the catch. But Mike Evans is fast though for 6'5". He is, and he should have been treated as a threat in this game, like any other game. I do wonder, though, and unfortunately, it looks like Deontay Foreman and DJ Moore will most likely not go over 1,000 yards this season. It's a bummer. It's a bummer. If J.C. Horn was there, no way Mike Evans gets 200 yards, right? Shoot. I would even go as far as to say if Josh Norman was on him, he wouldn't get no 207 yards. The only problem is, in order to test that, you got to play him, which they barely did. So, Yeah. And the thing is, I know a lot of people want to look down on Sam Darnold in that game, saying that, much was his fault. But folks have to remember that was his fifth game in where he finally turned over the ball. And he still threw over 300 yards passing and 3 touchdowns. I'm sorry, but that game was not on Sam Darnold. That injury was the worst timing ever. Just sad and heartbreaking. Yeah, it was bad. And at least, with him being on injured reserve, he's getting the surgery. He can heal up. But at the same time, they could have addressed that even back when Dante Jackson went down. They could have addressed that when Dante Jackson went down. But they didn't. And 3 touchdowns to 3 different receivers. Oh yeah, Tommy Tremble, DJ Moore, Shi Smith. Yeah, and the touchdown to Shi Smith was a laser. Was a laser. It was just funny how the timing with Brady coming and likes to pass the ball while we literally have the worst secondary ever in league history. No, we don't. We do not have the worst secondary in league history. No, we don't. No, that's an exaggeration. What? Shoot. Shoot. Man, if we had the worst secondary, we would have the first round pick right now. Guaranteed. We would have the first round pick. We would totally have the first round pick. Shoot. Probably have a bunch of first round picks. I don't know. Something like that. But okay, so now that I got that part out of the way, coaching prospects. Like I said, word is David Tepper reached out to Jim Harbaugh. Oh, pretty bad for Tom Brady to take advantage of because he was not scared, let's be honest. He loves the passing game and yardage. Well, when that's where the biggest amount of their yards come from and they have an offensive line ranked first in sacks allowed, it definitely helps. That and being able to get the ball out quickly definitely helps. I mean, shoot, that game alone, Mike Evans averaged 20.7 yards a catch. So that says something. That definitely says something. But yeah, so word is that David Tepper had a conversation with current Michigan head coach Jim Harbaugh about the opening for head coach position once this season ends. It wasn't deemed as an interview. That's what the word is. It wasn't technically an interview, but more sort of like, hey, we're going to be, looking for a new coach, I guess, or, thinking about, new coach after the season, and we want to throw your name in the hat. You know what I mean? So that's what That's what that's looking like. Tom Brady's posture is great when he steps up to throw the ball. That is just different for most quarterbacks. He's just very unique and special. He's also a flopper. He's also a flopper. We all know he's a flopper. He's a big old flopper. He might be a 7-time champion, but he's a freaking flopper. I give him credit where credit's due, but he's also a flopper. Brady likes to get flags from the refs. Oh, yeah. And when he doesn't get one, he has no problem getting up in their faces like he's about to fight. But yeah, so Jim Harbaugh has been talked to. And according to Queen City News, Jim Harbaugh has sincere interest in the Carolina job. I gotta be honest with y'all. If we have the opportunity to get Jim Harbaugh as our coach, we might want to really jump on that. We might want to jump on that. Jim Harbaugh, in his NFL head coaching career, is 49, 22, and 1. That includes being 5-3 in the postseason. Yeah. If I have the chance to get Jim Harbaugh and can afford him, sorry, Steve Wilkes. You can stay the defensive coordinator, but sorry, Steve Wilkes. I'm just keeping it real. I'm just keeping it real. Tom Brady was so mad when he got sacked on the 3 and 3rd and 5 play by Frankie Louvu. It was funny. Yeah. Jim Harbaugh is an amazing coach. He took the Niners to the Super Bowl against the Ravens. Yes, he did. Yes, he did. Was also a NFL Coach of the Year as well. So, agreed. And he knows how to develop a young quarterback. Facts. So, in all honesty, I think we gotta really seriously consider Jim Harbaugh, especially if he's interested. I don't know what kind of money that they'd be willing to pay him, but something to think about. Kevin says, how do you feel about Matt Corral? He did not get a fair shot. So I think he should get a fair shot this upcoming next season. I think he should get a fair shot. Because he really did not get a fair shot. I mean, with an O-line that was working on gelling together and, him getting hurt, he really didn't get a fair shot. So I think he should get a fair shot. Kevin says, the only thing I'm hearing about Jim was his want for full roster control of a team, but that's good if you're a good coach. I mean, would you give it to him? Because, I mean, correctly, the man has never had a losing season. So, I mean, the man has never had a losing season coaching in the NFL. So, yeah. He did not get along with the general manager at the 49ers, I heard, but him and Scott would get along well, I think. I would hope so. I would definitely hope so. But it's just funny how after Jim Harbaugh left 49ers, what happened? They started having losing seasons again. So, because after Jim Harbaugh left, they didn't have another winning season until 2019. So that says something. That says something. And of course, 2019, their coach was Kyle Shanahan. That's true. And who was their offensive and defensive coordinator for those seasons? Well, let's find out. Let's see. Offensive coordinator was 2011. So he got the start 2011. Offensive coordinator was Greg Roman. Defensive coordinator, Vic Fangio. Okay. 2012, same. Greg Roman on offense, Vic Fangio on defense. 2013, same. 2014, same. So Vic Fangio, so all 4 of those years, Vic Fangio on defense, Greg Roman offense. Kevin says they were great for many of years and one of the most feared teams, second to the Seahawks. Facts. Those are 2 of the best to ever do it. That is why they were amazing in 2012, along with their unbelievable roster talent. Yeah. Indeed. But yeah, they definitely did their thing. Definitely did their thing. But in all honesty, I would strongly consider, because I mean, let's keep it real. Jim Harbaugh would be an upgrade over Steve Wilkes. I mean, we got to keep it real. He would be an upgrade. Now, the other coach that's been talked about, San Francisco 49ers defensive coordinator, DeMeco Ryans. And you know what? I could see it. I could definitely see it. I could definitely see it. Wilkes has the leadership down, but Jim has the coaching and the leadership. Here's my thing with Steve Wilkes. Does he know how to, pump up, get a team fired up? Absolutely. Has a loud voice. Does his loud voice move mountains? Sure, I'll give him that. But here's the thing. At the end of the day, we're going to have to look back and look at the record. Because all that is great, but if you're not getting wins and it's not turning into winning seasons, then I'm just saying. Is he better than Matt Rule? I'll give him that. But you had the opportunity to make the playoffs, especially with the kind of year that we had, and they chose him to take over. They chose him. Is it a lot of pressure? Sure. But this is the NFL. That's the way it be. Kevin says Matt Rule is the worst coach ever, and that's not saying much. Yeah. Just wish that we would have had a better showing. Really wish we would have had a better showing back in 2001 when we had George Seifert. And that's the crazy thing is George Seifert is actually a great coach, but he wasn't in 2001. That's for sure. It was kind of a bummer. I like how Steve Wilkes actually was trying to make a culture and philosophy, which we can all like. And that's very necessary. That's very necessary. And that's good. That's good. But at the end of the day, it's your job to coach and help a team win games. Ultimately, that's what it comes down to. Got to be able to overcome adversity, got to be able to overcome pressure, and you got to be able to deliver. And there were some questionable games this season where he did not deliver. Very questionable games. I think the only game that he looked great, even in defeat, was the Falcons' loss. I think that's the one game where Steve Wilkes looked good in defeat. But like I said, we'll see what happens. But the three names so far, including Steve Wilkes, Jim Harbaugh, DeMeco Ryans. And the interesting thing with DeMeco Ryans was he actually had an opportunity. He was interviewed for the Minnesota Vikings head coaching position, but wasn't able to get a second interview. So therefore, he stayed with the Niners. So, I mean, I know there are many that want an offensive-minded coach, but I mean, I would not be mad at a DeMeco Ryans. And at the same time, I definitely wouldn't be mad at a Jim Harbaugh. You know, of course, what did he play? Played quarterback. And if there's anybody that would be able to help, especially Matt Corral, you know, maybe have a sophomore season comeback, Jim Harbaugh. I mean, the man played quarterback himself. So, I mean, hey, you know, I just really feel like this offseason, they need to look at their options. They need to explore options. There's a lot of things to look at. I mean, you got to deal with the cap issue. Got to figure out who to keep, who to let go. You know, Sam Darnold's making a great argument to be kept, as well as many others. But yeah. Oh, and I'm going to go ahead and say this. I'm going to go ahead and say this. For all of those folks out there talking about J.C. Horn is injury prone, stop. He played 3 games last season and went from playing 3 games to playing 13 games this season. Stop. He is not injury prone. Come on now. And in those 13 games, which, you know, he is a Pro Bowl alternate, which I'm sure he probably won't play. But come on now. He went from playing 3 games to playing 13. Injury prone? Stop. Seriously. Stop. Okay. So the situation with Jim Harbaugh, so he signed a 5-year, $36 million contract with Michigan that goes through 2026. This was back in February of last year. Now, according to this contract, he has a $3 million buyout until year 2, which starts January 11th. So that's coming up. So here's the thing. Carolina, it's been said that Carolina plans to go through a thorough interview process right after this Sunday's finale against New Orleans. Now, here's the thing. Even if David Tepper does end up giving Steve Wilkes a shot, he still has to interview 2 other minority candidates outside the organization under the Rooney Rule. And when you think about it, DeMeco Ryans would be one. So, something to think about. Tito Z, welcome to the stream. Sup, champ? I'm late. Did mention the problem at middle linebacker? Yeah. Yeah, that's another area we need to definitely tweak. Max, welcome to the stream. Does Matt Corral get his chance next season? I hope so. I hope he gets a fair shot. I feel like he didn't get a fair shot. Even in the preseason, he didn't get a fair shot. So I'm hoping he gets a fair shot next season. So I'm thinking, so Jim Harbaugh, D'Amico Ryans, and like I just mentioned, they need to interview one other minority candidate according to the Rooney Rule. So, like I said, I really feel like if they can afford Jim Harbaugh, who has sincere interest in the coaching vacancy, like, let's keep it real, y'all. That would be an upgrade. That would be an upgrade over Steve Wilkes. I mean, wouldn't y'all agree? Would y'all at least agree with that? Max says Raheem Morris can be that second interview, a great defensive mind. You could also look towards Brian Flores, who would be a great hire also. Those are two great examples as well, Max. Two great examples as well. Why not? Why not? Tito Z says, agree. Don't waste money on a new rookie quarterback. Let Corral play and let us see what he's got. Well, here's the thing. Word is Carolina is strongly looking at Anthony Richardson. So I don't know. Word is Carolina is strongly looking at Anthony Richardson. So, I mean, but like I said, I do agree. I am all for giving Matt Corral a fair shot to compete. Max says, Anthony Richardson is Cam Newton all over again. Should be fun if it happens. Well, here's the thing about that. The last time we went in on a quarterback in the first round was Cam Newton, and it was a success. After all, Cam Newton's career with the Carolina Panthers, was his best. His career with the Patriots doesn't even compare. So, but I think we really need to sit down and really consider the needs and the priority of the needs. There's a lot of talk about strengthening our secondary, safety position, cornerback position. I mean, heck, there were even folks saying go hard on cornerback and safety, move Jeremy Chin to linebacker, where he technically played his best. His rookie year at that linebacker nickel hybrid spot, that's where Jeremy Chin played his best so far, y'all. Who really should have been defensive rookie of the year, but of course Chase Young was the bigger name. Hey Mike, welcome to the stream. Evening, Jason, and awesome chat. Let's pray for Damar Hamlin's recovery, and maybe the NFL can develop safer chest equipment. There was a lot of money, I think over $5 million raised for Damar Hamlin and they got his vitals. Vitals are normal, and just hopefully they can get him stable. And like I said, the dude's only 24. He's young. He's young. So I really hope that he'll be able to continue his NFL career and they can get him stable and fully recovered. It might take some time, but hopefully he gets back and fully recovered so he can continue his NFL career. Um as far as the safer chest equipment, I mean, he went into cardiac arrest, so I I don't really know exactly what they could do, like, but I mean, whatever they can do would be great. Whatever they could do would be great. But definitely hoping that he recovers swiftly as possible. Uh oh, it was 6 million. Oh, nice, even better, even better. Um, to be honest, that was a normal play on the field. I do hope and pray he can recover, but as far as play another down in the NFL, I don't see that happening. Oh, you don't see him playing another down in the NFL. That would be a bummer, though. That would be such a bummer. I mean, especially for how young he is. But I guess that's not impossible. We hope that doesn't happen, but I guess it's not impossible. But uh but hey, 6 million, that's still a lot. I can dig it. Max says there is a chance he could play, but because of this huge injury to the heart, it would likely have to be with a pacemaker. Ooh, ooh, yo, that would suck. And the interesting thing was he collapsed after making a tackle. Um, yeah, that is right. Yeah, he made a tackle, right? Would you get back on the field after two CPR recoveries? Not immediately. I would if as soon as I got the okay. I would when I would get the okay. But would I get back on the field immediately? ASAP? Nah. Nah. But if I was in the clear, yes, I would strongly consider. I would strongly consider. But that's just me. That's just me. Um and apparently Kyler Murray had successful surgery. Apparently he had a ACL reconstruction and a meniscus repair. Ooh, ooh, jeez. Ugh, yikes. Max. Oh, good question. Would you rather be given Josh Allen but stay with Steve Wilkes, or Jim Harbaugh but with Sam Darnold, Matt Corral, or Anthony Richardson? Well, here's the thing. I think Sam Darnold did well. For the 5, soon to be 6 games that he's played, we have to say, I think we can all agree that Sam Darnold has played some of his best football this season. Not only that, I mean, would you rather be given Josh Allen but stay with Steve Wilkes? Well, I mean, the Texans had Deshaun Watson, and they ended up finishing 4-12, and he finished a top 5 quarterback. So I don't know. I don't know. I just really feel like Steve Wilkes shouldn't get the job by default. I think they need to explore options. You know, I'm not saying that Steve Wilkes shouldn't be a candidate. He absolutely should be. But along with the success that he's had, he's also had some pretty epic fails this season. And it showed in some very questionable games. The Steelers game, the Ravens game, the Bucks game. Like I said, I feel like the only game that he coached that he looked good in was and that he looked good in defeat was the Falcons game. I feel like that's the only game that he looked good in defeat. Mike says, last thing, I live in NYC, as you know, and my bank had to issue a replacement card. Guess which was the only sports bank card they had? Carolina Panthers. Oh, so Bank of America? Oh, snap. Oh, snap. Hope that goes well for you. Hope you got what you need. Mr. Gemini, welcome to the stream. Steve Wilkes tried to outduel and get in a shootout with Tom Brady, LOL, SMH. He went away from what got him there. Mike said, I took it, of course. Said my friend would like it. There you go. Good move. Mr. Gemini, yeah. Agreed. And that's the thing, Mr. Gemini, you just don't do that. You do not get in a shootout with a 7-time Super Bowl champion. John Elite, welcome to the stream. That was a scary situation with Hamlin. Yeah, I mean, it just makes me... Now, I didn't see the game. I did look back at the highlight, but I did not see the game. But yeah, from his tackle, just ooh. Hopefully he can recover, though. Hopefully he can recover. This division is going to be crap next year. Harbaugh could easily win the division. Well, I mean, it was definitely crap this season too, if we want to be technical. Any update on if they're gonna resume the game? I don't think there's been an update on when that will be. I don't think there has been an update unless I missed something. because Cincinnati has to play the Ravens this Sunday. So yeah. This Sunday they play the Cincinnati plays the Ravens, and Buffalo plays the Patriots. So I'm not too sure. I'm not too sure when they will do that game. Yeah, but there probably won't be a Tom Brady spoiling our playoff chances. Man, we had a chance at beating Tom Brady. We beat him before the first game, kept him out of the end zone. We had a chance. We had a chance if they had just made adjustments. We were up 14-0, about to go into halftime. They would have just made adjustments. We could have won that game. Mike says, before I go, what day do you do wrestling? Maybe later because of Raw, Dynamite, and Wrestle Kingdom, or Friday after Battle of the Belts. I typically, lately, I've been kind of doing it on the fly with some of my previews and review videos, just because, like, there's so many. But typically, sometimes Friday evenings and sometimes Saturdays, usually mornings or afternoons, are when I tend to do the live pro wrestling talks. So just note that. Note that as best as you can. Because it fluctuates sometimes, but Fridays and Saturdays typically. Ernest Capu, welcome to the stream. Carolina Panthers head coach next year. I think they got to explore options. I think they got to explore their options. Mr. Gemini says, if we get the coach and the quarterback right, we can run this division for years. Now is our chance. Well, I know that there were talks about the idea of Carolina pursuing Anthony Richardson in the draft. And as of right now, Carolina in the first round has the 9th pick in the draft. And according to Tankathon, they have Carolina going with Quentin Johnston, wide receiver out of TCU, in the first round with that 9th pick. They have Carolina going Andre Carter II, edge rusher out of Army, in the 2nd round, as well as Jordan Battle, safety out of Alabama. And in the 3rd round, they have Carolina going running back, Zach Charbonnet, running back out of UCLA. All right, Mike. Sounds good. Have a good night. God bless, bro. God bless you too. Thank you so much. Appreciate you. So those were the names that they have on the Tankathon for mock draft for Carolina. But as of now, we got the 9th pick in the first round. Which the funny thing is, Philadelphia has the 10th pick. We have the 9th pick. So, like I said, we'll either finish 6-11 or we'll finish 7-10. Do you see us trading up? Well, good question. Let's see where our positions are right so far. Let's see where our positions are. So first round, we got the 9th pick of the first round. And then the 2nd round, we got the 40th and the 61st. In the 3rd round, we have the 93rd, Fourth round, we have the 111th and 131st. Fifth round, the 143rd. And sixth round, we don't have any picks in the sixth round. And seventh round, oh, we don't have any picks in the seventh round. You know what? We probably could trade up. But I could see us probably trading up maybe in the third or second round, perhaps. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm thinking. Maybe not necessarily in the first. Well, I mean, we got 2 picks in the second round, so we could maybe, well, perhaps. That's a really good question, Mr. Gemini. That's a really good question. That's tough. Ernest Capu says Carolina Panthers better next year, 2023. Here's hoping. Here's hoping. Max says, if I'm David Tepper, I'm throwing money at Harbaugh right now. There's no other attractive jobs, maybe other than the Colts. This division is Carolina's to dominate or get dominated in for the next few years. And as I said, Jim Harbaugh is sincerely considering or is sincerely interested in the Carolina Panthers head coaching job. So, like I said, if we have the opportunity to lock up, but, they still got to go through the protocol, with the Rooney Rule and all that. They still got to go through the protocol. But I think deep down, they should really consider the fact that if they were to get Jim Harbaugh, that's a big upgrade. That's a big upgrade. And if that means that he has to have a big say-so in the roster, you know what? So be it. He's had 4 years of head coaching success in the NFL. Why not? Why not? Hasn't had a losing season in the NFL. Why not? Forget all of that nonsense. We need to figure out who the next long snapper is after J.J. Jansen. Well, he did pass John Casey's record. He will attract free agents too. Oh, Jim Harbaugh? Oh, yeah. Oh, I definitely don't doubt that. I don't doubt that at all. I do not doubt that at all. But yeah, I look so forward. Look so forward to seeing how this offseason goes. But yeah, this last game against the Saints, y'all, I mean, I don't expect much. I mean, if we win, great. If we lose, great. I mean, we're already eliminated from playoff contention. So, I mean, when it comes down to it, they're just playing for a draft spot, I guess. I think many starters will play. At least I don't think. But, J.C. Horn's on injured reserve, so he'll have now and full off season to get recovered and everything. And then they got some decisions to make. I mean, do they bring back Sam Darnold? That's going to be another tough decision they're going to have to make, whether they want to bring back Sam Darnold or not, even if he doesn't start, but being a bridge or the veteran presence in the quarterback core. That's something to think about. But looking at the needs of the team, I mean, I think for Carolina, I think we need another edge rusher. We definitely need a linebacker, preferably middle linebacker. I would say secondary. Mr. Gemini says, off topic, but the NFL will focus more on lowering of the helmet even more now. That doesn't surprise me too much. That doesn't surprise me too much. It's probably necessary. But looking at this, looking at the big draft board on Tankathon, I mean, as far as the rankings, the overall rankings, I mean, they only have 6 quarterbacks listed, starting from the top: Bryce Young, C.J. Stroud, Will Levis, Anthony Richardson, Tanner McKee, Hendon Hooker, and Jaron Hall. The thing about that is, looking at the order of the draft, I'm pretty sure the Texans, I believe, most likely will take a quarterback. The Seahawks will probably will take a quarterback as well. The Colts, I mean, since things didn't really go so well with Matt Ryan, the Colts could be in line for a quarterback. Because, I mean, you look at the order right now: Texans first, Bears second, Seahawks third, Cardinals fourth, Colts fifth, Lions sixth, Falcons seventh, Raiders eighth, and then Carolina at ninth. So, in all seriousness, I think 2 to 3 quarterbacks could be gone by the time it gets to Carolina. And I think the 2 quarterbacks for sure that would be gone would be Bryce Young and C.J. Stroud. So, something to note. Now, if we're looking at edge, Now, if we're looking at edge rusher, Will Anderson will probably be gone by the time it. Honestly, he probably will be gone to the Bears or to the Cardinals. I know edge rusher is a need. So the top ranked edge rushers that they have: Will Anderson out of Alabama, Miles Murphy out of Clemson, Tyree Wilson out of Texas Tech, Jarrett Verse out of Florida State, Isaiah Foskey out of Notre Dame, Nolan Smith out of Georgia, BJ Ojulari out of LSU, Andre Carter II out of Army, Felix Adike Uzuma out of Kansas State, Zach Harrison out of Ohio State, Mike Morris out of Michigan, and Will McDonald IV out of Iowa State. Mr. Gemini says, Will Anderson going to the Bears most likely? Yeah, I agree. I think you're right. I definitely think you're right. I mean, there's quite a selection there, y'all, at edge rusher. There's quite a selection that could potentially fall to Carolina at that number 9 spot. You know what I mean? I mean, you look at the mock draft. I mean, between the first pick and the 9th pick, they have Will Anderson going number 2 to the Bears. They have Miles Murphy going number 6 to the Lions. Mr. Gemini says, we have a lot of holes, so we really don't know who they're going to draft. This is true. This is true. Linebacker. Oh, let's see. Who do they have ranked at linebacker? So their top guy that they have, Trenton Simpson out of Clemson. Noah Sewell out of Oregon. Ooh, Drew Sanders out of Arkansas, who has 9.5 sacks right now. Henry 2020. I don't even know if I said that right. Linebacker out of Alabama. Jack Campbell out of Iowa. Diane Henley out of Washington State. DeMarvion Overshawn. Wow, that's a name for you. Out of Texas. So there's, I mean, I don't know. Cornerbacks, because that might be another direction. Keely Ringo looks to be the top guy. Excuse me. Cornerback out of Georgia. Joey Porter Jr., Penn State. Cam Smith out of South Carolina. I mean, there's a lot of names on here. I don't know any of these guys, so I don't know. Yeah, I barely know any of these guys as well, Mr. Gemini. So I'm right there with you. Brian Branch, top ranked safety that they have out of Alabama. But one second. But whew, it's gonna be tough to figure out. It's definitely gonna be tough to figure out. But oh, I forgot. Score prediction. I don't know. I honestly don't know. 21-14 Carolina. Maybe they can get the win, end on a good note, but honestly, I don't know. But I'm hoping, I guess, a win. But we'll see. We'll see what happens. But I don't know, y'all. I have nothing left. have nothing left, really, to be honest with you. I have nothing left. So we'll just see what happens Sunday, I guess. But that's really all that I have for tonight. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, hit that notification bell. Week 18, last game of the season. We'll see what happens. That's all I can really say. Keep pounding. Hope everybody has a blessed week. For another Pro Wrestling Talk. Wow. That lets you know it's time to go. That lets you know it's time to go. For another Carolina Panthers Talk. Brought to you by Blitzball Champ Gaming here on the U to the Tube. I'm your host, Jason Ingram. Am I still going to go live on Sunday? Yes. Yes, I am. Yes, I am. That is still going to happen. Yes. So I'll see you there. I'm Blitzball Champ Jason Ingram. Hope everybody has a blessed week. I'll see y'all in the next video. Take care. Keep pounding. Peace.